Hello, my name is Maris, and welcome to my show, Critical Root Zone, where we dig deep with inquiring minds to get to the root of sustainability, going below the surface to rebuild trust while supporting all voices on our journey to a climate positive planet. And we are now at the finale of the Cannabis series with my friend Derek Besenius.
How's it going?
Hey, buddy, we got to talk about you. This guy is the co-owner and CEO of Labcanna, Tennessee's pioneer cannabis business, winner of Best Nashville 2019, 2020, and 2021, and co-founder of Cultivate Tennessee, a 501c6 political action committee advocating for the most effective, safe, and ethical cannabis legislation in the U.S. and here in the volunteer state. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
You've been sitting patiently and waiting for your turn.
I have. Yeah, I got to listen to some great cannabis expertise from some real professionals.
We had Frederick on talking about hemp and some of the history and his personal story where we met at Labcanna.
There we go.
Your home.
Yep.
Basically.
Yep. Home away from home, second home.
That's your spot,
home.
man. And because of you, we met. So thank you.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you both for coming in. Thank everyone.
We're just full of joy and love right now. Everybody said we are high on unicorn tears, mad tasty.
Except not high because it's CBD.
High on life, high vibrations. Exactly. I'm done with mine. But I'm drunk. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Thank you. I had to get the last one. Dang, I didn't push record. It's okay. I was so excited.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so here we are, and your wife came on. She's COO of Labcanna.
She is my better half.
Oh, my God.
Yep. Better half, definitely.
And there she is. She's beautiful. She did a great job. And we're just trying to uncover this plant, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there is so much to cover, so much miseducation, re-education, combating the 50-plus years of the war on drugs.
Yep.
You know, origin stories for everyone, because it seems like the majority of people have a cannabis origin story.
Yeah.
I'll go into a little bit more detail of mine that Sarah actually kind of hinted at.
Right.
So talked about the car accident, the freak accident that we had in 2016.
Yeah, like preface that, though.
Yes.
'Cause holy shit.
We were actually supposed to go to Colorado, and at that time, cannabis was legal in Colorado, marijuana specifically. So we were very excited, went out to Cool Springs, got some winter gear. We were supposed to go skiing. It was 2 days before St. Patrick's Day, and we were actually driving on the interstate, less than 5 minutes from home. Right by exit 1 on 440, a stolen utility van actually ramped off the median. We were both doing 65 and landed directly on top of us. I lost complete memory of driving. And the last thing I remember was leaving the store. Sarah woke up within 5 seconds, went to reach for me. I was seizing, bleeding from the face. I mean, I have no recollection whatsoever.
Ooh.
Rushed to Vanderbilt Trauma, and I actually suffered the worst traumatic brain injury that they'd ever seen. So they gave the report to my family, my friends, that I would either be completely brain dead or at best have a 51st dates or Groundhog Day style memory, thinking it was the same day over and over. Well, about 3 weeks later, I was released from trauma after 3 days, which is another story for another time. But 3 weeks later, I was actually on the road to full cognitive recovery. And that was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was like not normal.
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
No. Giving, the report that they received, and like I said, I can't remember it all, but I am blessed to be here. I thought that it was more of a spiritual thing because there's absolutely, the amount of love that I received, care from family and, people surrounding me absolutely had an impact, especially just being in the hospital in a medically induced coma. I had no surgeries, none on my brain, fractured my skull, C6 vertebrae, had brain swelling, brain bleed. It was a dire situation.
Wow.
Recovering from another accident, again, another story for another time.
Yeah.
About 5 months later, I was watching a special on Vice. CBD, cannabinoids, THC, cannabis was huge because if you remember, I think, what was the movie called? Concussion with Will Smith?
Yeah.
Came out that year. So CTEs, concussion, and specifically in the NFL, huge in the media, huge in discussion. And Vice had a special called Gridiron Ganja, And that is where I learned you are 4 times more likely to make a full cognitive recovery from a TBI if you have cannabinoids in your system 72 hours before or 48 hours after a TBI, a traumatic brain injury.
Wow.
That was it. I mean, that really set the trajectory for me and the rest of my life.
I've got the picture of the car.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that was a Toyota Tacoma, and now it's who knows where.
It was a truck.
Yes, it was.
Oh, my, yeah. Man, I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks.
We
Me
are
too.
blessed, man.
Yeah, I certainly am. We all are.
For that to be in your system before and after, and like they let you out of the hospital 3 days, is that what you said?
3 days, and that's a whole other discussion about just the politics and bureaucracy of just hospitalization.
Yeah, healthcare.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's definitely another conversation. So then after that, you're on the mend. And like, tell me more about you. And well, first of all, I'm gonna go back and talk about Labcanna just again, because if you didn't hear the other episodes, Labcanna is a local store here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yep.
And they have all local products, and they're doing great things. That's where I met Frederick. That's where I met these guys, just showing up to a 420 party. Like, how awesome is that, too? It's just a public event.
Yep.
Come check us out. And their spot is so cool. The Labcanna East store is just like the coolest. And you built that with your bare hands.
Yes, with zero construction experience. Like Sarah said before, I'll hire some contractors.
Lesson learned.
Yes,
we learned
big
some
time.
things.
But hey, you got to fail to learn, right?
Yeah, but actually you succeeded. So
Yeah.
I mean, you just proved us all wrong. But frequently asked questions. I just pulled up this page because if you have questions and more, you want to further your knowledge and get more educated, they have a whole page on it on their website.
We do. We have
Labcanna.com.
articles. Yep, labcanna.com. Our store is in East Nashville, 1006 Gallatin. That's Labcanna East. Come check us out. That is where we all got introduced and really kicked off our friendship and relationship and really connected and vibrated. Shout out to Fred for
we
that
are
one.
aligned. That word's going to come up again. We were all aligned, and we're aligned right now, today, right here.
Yep.
But so tell me more about this Cultivate Tennessee.
Yeah, so Cultivate Tennessee is another, because there are a few political action committees in Tennessee pushing for the legislation that makes the most sense for all Tennesseans. That goes from farmers to ancillary businesses to consumers, patients. Hemp Alliance of Tennessee is really, really pioneering that side of the legislative push, as well as for consumers and getting that understanding and education out there. And Cultivate Tennessee is also doing a similar thing. I mean, we're really pushing for that legislation side, which don't really have to tell many people, but it's a lot of work to change that perception, especially here where we are.
Yeah. And in Tennessee, you're saying
Correct.
in Tennessee. We struggle with quite a few things. I mean, being an environmentalist, being an activist, I feel that struggle because, the zero waste idea and the recycling and the plastic and thinking like, hey, this is like a no-brainer. Like, let's just stop making this shit, or at least put some things in place to hold producers responsible. It's very hard.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it with Fred, the carbon offset that cannabis, period, hemp specifically brings. I mean,
hand in hand, man.
Absolutely.
These things are hand in hand. But I just said it was hard. I didn't say it wasn't possible.
Correct.
Okay? Because it is possible and it is going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And I think something that I've also noticed between the guests I've had on my show thus far is everybody started from ground zero. It takes time. It takes persistence. And passion.
Oh, absolutely. Passion.
Bringing it back to passion. And the drive for that, it really, for me, my purpose is just, it's unraveled to me because I don't really think I can ever unsee what I know.
Yep.
I can't unknow what I know.
Yep.
And And it's beautiful because I mean, like, this is the stuff that's giving me purpose in life. I don't know about you, but I'm glad we're here, you know?
Oh, me too.
And we're helping other people. Like your personal experience, like, and Frederick's personal experience with his mom, and then Sarah being with you and having that experience with you. I mean, we're all experiencing it in our own way. And that also leads into environmentalism. Because I think a lot of people don't know how to even, they don't connect. If you don't connect to it, then you're not really thinking about it.
Which is so difficult. I mean, the environment, we are part of the environment.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Without
support each other.
There's none of us. And without
Correct.
us,
Yep.
there's nothing.
There you go. There you go.
But moving into, again, like what you were talking about, Cultivate Tennessee, the legislation part of it, and you know, where are we at with all this? Like, you know, we kind of touched on the Farm Bill in 2014, which was the cultivation of the cannabis plant, right?
That is actually how Labcanna got started. We were operating in that pilot program with TSU at the time and got one of the first grow licenses out on our family farm in Franklin.
Wow. And then 2018.
2018, so funnily enough, it was like December is when that was the 2018 Farm Bill was signed in. But that's when commercialization really, really blew up. So Labcanna specifically, we've been through every single step in the hemp cannabis supply chain. Growing outdoors for biomass, indoors for consumable flower, extraction, distillation, end product manufacturing, e-com, brick and mortar, and even had a restaurant. Unfortunately, I had to close that in 2020. Thanks, COVID. Oh, yeah, absolutely are. Absolutely are. But, you know, it's really given us a full picture understanding of how the industry operates, how the ancillary businesses that operate alongside and would be impacted by this industry, how all of those kind of coincide, but also compete. So that is where the policy side kind of comes in, and why it's so difficult to bring that effective policy to the table, because so many industries, businesses, farmers, people, they'll all be impacted. So it's kind of a stalemate right now.
Tell me more.
So Fred, for example, he's with HAT. He's been working on a big thing with industrial hemp and bringing industrial hemp in retooling current industries such as the automotive industry into this space. And that is innovation. That is progressing our GDP, progressing our people. So bringing that in, it's a change of retooling. Retooling their processes, retooling how they are constructing certain components of the car. And that is change. Change is scary for a lot of people.
Changing the systems. And that's, I mean, reimagining.
Exactly.
Reimagining. We're going to have to do that. I mean, it's slowly now, but like, I mean, it's all going to have to change.
Yep.
Everything.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And you talked about it before. Hempcrete. Hempcrete, this entire building could be made of hempcrete. It would offset carbon significantly because it's so much lighter than normal concrete. Concrete accounts for 7% of the global CO2 emissions. 7%.
Wow.
So you change that out for hempcrete.
Big one.
First of all, you're growing hemp. It's offsetting carbon that way. And then on top of that, you're reducing weight to ship it across the globe.
Wow.
So then you're offsetting it that way as well. However, you need to get into the codes aspect of it. So once those, you know, you're reworking the entire code system on what is an acceptable metric for a concrete or a hempcrete block. That is the struggle. That's why everything takes so much time when it comes to legislation.
So when this, if we bring it in, we're like, hey, everything is legal now, and let's go, right? I mean, I don't know if it's possible that we're going to have all the answers all right away. Like that's just something that has to be developed. But like how bad could it be? It's a plant that we keep referring to as the miracle plant, and the nature's vitamins and like the cure all. So I mean, just letting it ride wouldn't be such a bad thing. But there comes a stipulation.
Yes, always is. Always is.
Oh man, and it brings me back. I mean, to money.
Yep.
Back to money, man.
Yeah, it's I mean, unfortunately, that's the society we live in, capitalism.
We need more billionaires to put more money into this.
Oh, we do. Got to get them that tax incentive. That's what they're waiting for.
Yeah, the tax incentives. So 2018, we're commercialized. And then currently, I think I heard Frederick talking about they're working on something right now, like another one, 2023.
Yes, a new farm bill, and you know I personally can't speak very much into that because things change
Yep.
at the drop of a hat, you know? And that's something that we've had to adapt to in this industry, hand over fist. I mean, it's definitely something, especially on a state-by-state
Good
basis.
Nice segue, yeah, because I've got this cool map. Pulling up the map. And this is from, let's see, DISA.com, which we were looking at this and already Dirk's like, oh, that's outdated.
A little bit. I mean,
a little teeny bit, because it's always changing. So.
It is. And like Tennessee, for example, technically has a medical marijuana availability. I do appreciate that it's grayed out because we don't really have one. So as a patient, if you have a letter from your doctor, dependent on, a certain number of issues that you're dealing with, a very defined set of issues that you're dealing with, you can have a note from your doctor, go to a legal cannabis state and get a medical marijuana product that is under 0.9% Delta 9 THC. And the hemp law is 0.3%. Exactly.
Jumping through so many hoops.
Yes. And that's the other thing.
Holy schmoly.
No legal state is really going to produce a 0.9% Delta 9 THC product. It just financially doesn't make sense.
Oh, so that's not even
it was
really
a bone.
Doesn't really exist.
Not really.
God.
Yep.
Okay, well, we're on our way. I think that, speaking on Tennessee, right, we've come a long way.
We have. And there is a long way to go still, but I think that next year we're going to see yet another exponential leap. So, for example, there was HB, House Bill 1968.
Okay.
Bob Freeman sponsored that bill.
He was just on the show. Oh. And that was the last thing that we talked about was the bill that had died.
Yes.
But, okay, proceed. Yes.
So that was Free All Cannabis in Tennessee. TGC, Tennessee Growers Coalition, really helped to push that bill. That could have been, and we see the opposite side of that pendulum, was HB 1927. So we're seeing that the pendulum is swinging back and forth. There's a ton of support. There's almost equal amounts of opposition, and that just comes from education. So HB 1927 would have, it was meant to destroy the entire THC psychoactive cannabinoid side of the hemp industry. Even though it's federally legal by 2018 Farm Bill standards, Tennesseans and our legislators here didn't want to continue that based on some fairly inaccurate and cherry-picked data. They tried to position it as a consumer safety situation. If you really want consumers to be safe, put in regulations. Do not continue to put in prohibition.
Oh my God! If we're going to talk about that anymore, I swear, because alcohol is one of the leading killers. I mean,
yes, it is.
So I just, that's not an. You can't say that. You can't say that.
No, you can't. So one of the big things that I love saying, medicinal alcohol, not safe for consumption. Medicinal cannabis, safe for consumption.
Hell yeah.
So take that as you will.
And then I mean, you think they're a little scared of also the war on drugs and police getting a lot of money from criminalization of these plants.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So when that goes out the window, what are they gonna do? Actually,
tax it. Hey.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to think about. But so what's the next move you think, or just from your personal thoughts and experience, what do you think would be the next move in that arena? Because since that bill died, right? Bob and I started talking about, hey, we got time before the next session, right, in January. And I'm learning so much about voting as well, about policy, voting on policy versus politicians or politics, which a lot of us, I think people my age, I've even had the conversation where people are like, well, my voice isn't getting heard. I have no power in this because I don't have money. And I'm like, what? This is not how our country was created. The government was not created. But I understand. Yes. I absolutely understand because I was there. And I think just moving into this part of I have to try. Because why wouldn't I at least try to understand? So there's an election coming up in August, and Bob will be running again. He's got my vote. But like just to know like pro cannabis people and who they are. I met another guy, Republican, Joe. What's his name?
Joe Kirkpatrick.
Joe Kirkpatrick. So that's another dude, pro cannabis guy. He had a little fundraising event at the Holistic Connection in Green Hills. It was so much fun too. Met a little mom and pop like ice cream couple that had
Nice.
like Delta 9 infused ice cream. These guys are from New York. They're like, they're older. They're living their dream. They're living their best life.
There you go. Older. So it's not, I mean, you're bringing, just to bring it back to the policy side of things.
Yeah.
It's the legalization of cannabis as a whole. And I'm talking hemp and marijuana, cannabis. It's bipartisan issue. It is not an age demographic issue. It is not a socioeconomic issue. It is not an issue. Cannabis is a unifier. And I think that is part of the problem. It is a unifier. Ooh. So politicians tend to use it to stick with their party allegiance. Don't do that. Just bring the benefit back to the people and back to the planet, because that is what we all need. You end the show saying, what is it?
Ask questions.
Together.
Inspire everyone and stand united.
There you go. Stand united. Stand united. The entourage effect. That is cannabinoids working together. As we work together, we see positive benefits. Our 3 core values at Labcanna: educate first, grow together, and give a shit. You have to care.
Love that.
All 3 of those, keep it simple. Exactly. I did tell Fred I would call this out. Cooperation, because competition is healthy. That is how we continue innovation and improving. But cooperating is equally as healthy.
Yes.
So they can exist in the same exact vein. Cooperate, compete, cooperation.
And coexisting, man. That was beautiful what you just said. Thank you. Love that. And what a perfect way to kind of wrap us up, because I think that we did such a great job. We still have some of these products out here, but I'm going to call to action. If you're here in Tennessee and you're here in Nashville, or you're coming in to visit, come check out a Labcanna, because you can get some fun stuff, some goodies for your weekend. And I'll tell you what, the heightened gummies are really great for hangovers. Really great for hangovers. It is the cure, for real. But I'm so excited to see where this goes. If you all want to know how to do a podcast or stream or something like that, I have got the guys, Erin and Stuart with Elm Hill Studio. This is a place it's literally hands off. I just get to show up, and they're incredible. So you can email me at criticalrootzone.com and ask any questions, any thoughts or ideas about things you want to hear about, sustainability based. I have a feeling we're going to have these guys back on the show.
No doubt.
And we may be doing some longer episodes with them because it's just too much fun. But in closing, is there anything else you wanted to say in closing? Or
I would love anyone listening, watching, please come to Labcanna East. Please visit our website. We are no judgment whatsoever, from the canna curious to the canna conscious to the cannasaurs. Come check it out. We will give you all the education that you're looking for.
And I mean, don't you want to meet Derek and Sarah? I mean, they're amazing.
I'm wearing my Dare shirt. I mean, I had to. So.
You just wearing a Dare shirt, and perfect
Thanks.
for the set.
Thanks.
All right, guys, this was incredible, and I am so happy that you came, that we did this, and I'm looking forward to the next guest. I'm not really sure who it's going to be yet, but I'm thinking regenerative culture and farming. There's so many amazing people in Nashville doing incredible things. So stay tuned for the next guest. And until that next episode, just remember to ask questions, inspire others to be better, and anything is possible when we stand united. Thank you for listening to Critical Root Zone. If you'd like to reach out, email us at criticalrootzone@gmail.com. Critical Root Zone is produced in Nashville, Tennessee, copyright 2022.